Let me take, I'll tell you what, I'll take a few questions. I've probably gone on, I think my 20 minutes was up 20 minutes ago. But anybody have any comments or questions that you have, I'll be glad to answer them. And if you've got some private ones, I'll stick around for a little while afterwards if you don't ask in front of a big crowd. Yes, sir.
Hi, my name's Bob Davies. This is just a local Cooke County. They've recently increased the requirements for agricultural exemption to 10 acres. I mean, it's 10 acres, used to be 5. Is that happening statewide or?
This question is about why are they changing up the rules on, he said agricultural exemption, but it's really not an exemption. You got to pay taxes on it. It's really an agricultural evaluation. Instead of based on your taxes be based on the commercial value of your property, an agricultural evaluation bases the taxes on the production value of it. So that's the difference, okay? So each county is kind of different. They're almost independent. So one can say, okay, Sid, you've got horses, that's ag. And another one might say, you know, Sid, that's recreational. That's not. We don't count horses. And you've got 5 goats, well, it's 10 goats. You know, so it's different. So 5 acres, 4 acres, you know, you could have 5 acres and have 30,000 head of livestock if you had bees, right? So it's, you know, you just got to go to the appraisal review board and argue it. And here's the best argument for you, okay, because I've been through this. They say, all right, y'all say I'm not ag, okay. Here's my income taxes. They make me file a Form F. That's an agriculture farm. The state gives me a agriculture and timber resale number. I don't have to pay taxes, sales taxes on certain farm items, right? I went down to the FSA office, and here's my farm number. I'm recorded at the United States Department of Agriculture. My farm is farm number 3791. And y'all are trying to tell me I'm not a farm? Everybody else tells me I am. So that's your argument, okay? All right, any other questions? Comments? Yes, ma'am?
Have rare earth minerals?
What is it?
Does Texas have rare earth minerals?
We have some. We used to mine uranium. There's still some up in the panhandle around Pampa, up in that area. Boy, I've never got this question before. Probably.
I heard Afghanistan has a lot of rare earth minerals.
Rare minerals, yeah. Okay. Anything else? Yes.
You mentioned when you first began about getting younger people involved. Do you have some programs ongoing that you could mention, or they're on your Facebook, or?
The gentleman's question, it says that, you know, I put a big emphasis on getting young people involved in agriculture. And what he wanted to know, just how am I doing that? Several ways. When I became commissioner, we weren't involved in any of the major or minor livestock shows. So all my people are always at the livestock shows now. We certify their scales for them. We're there to help them weigh their animals in. We encourage them. We even go to the county fairs and do that if they'll let us. We are now at the state fair. We have the Go Texan Pavilion. It's a 20,000 square foot pavilion where we, you know, right there with the 4-H and FFA kids where we promote that. But I think my best program is I have a young farmer grant program. So the way it works, I think it's pretty cool. Y'all may not disagree. I think you will, though. So when you go in to the motor vehicle office and you want to get a tag for one of your farm trailers or your farm truck, there's an option on that tag for an extra $5. You can opt out. You don't have to pay it. After tonight, you're going to pay it. I promise you will. And I take that $5 and I put it in this young farmer grant program. So I'll give you an example. Recently, I awarded a young couple $10,000. They had to put up it's a dollar for dollar match, and we helped them give them a start in the goat business, right? I don't like to call it a handout. I like to call it a hand up, giving them a start. So basically, 2,000 farmers and ranchers pitched in $5 a piece to get this young couple a start. Otherwise, they probably couldn't get started. It's hard to get started in agriculture if you don't have any family lineage to it, or you don't own any ground. So that's what we do with that. If y'all don't opt out of that $5, okay? We're going to help some young couple or some young person with that, and we can go up to $20,000. Some of them buy heifers with it. We'll match it, help them get a little herd started, things like that. So that's what we do, and we got other things too. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
On the meat packing plants, who regulates those, the disconnect between the sale barn price and the grocery store price, and then this lab-grown meat junk? Who regulates that one?
All right, so that's another pet peeve of mine. I've got a lot of them, by the way. So it's actually started with a big fire at the Tyson plant, and cattle backed up, and retail prices went up, and cattle prices went down. But we really saw it during the pandemic. So we had farmers that had cattle in the feedlot. They were losing $500 a head on one steer. The packers on that same steer that the farmer lost $500 on were clearing $2,500 to $3,000. That just burnt me up. And we've only got 4 major packers have 80% of the packing business in the United States. So I fired an email off to President Trump and to then Attorney General William Barr. I said, I demand a full investigation of these big 4 packers for collusion, price fixing. I said, this is not right. And amazingly, within 3 hours, President Trump called a press conference and said that he was ordering Attorney General William Barr to investigate these 4 big packers for collusion and price fixing. So that started, okay? And about halfway through it, Trump lost and William Barr's gone, and it's just kind of there. No one's doing anything. But about 2 weeks ago, I've been pushing to get this, even though I don't have as much stroke as I used to under Trump, especially since I'm suing the USDA. They don't listen to me much. At least not like they did. But we did get a hearing in the House and a hearing in the Senate. And it looks like they're going to start taking a look at this again and hopefully get it fixed. Now, personally, the way I dealt with that, I put up another Facebook page, actually through the Department of Agriculture, and it's called Direct from Texas. And it allows, you could go on there, you're looking for some organic eggs or local eggs or some fresh local grown tomatoes, and you can go through there and post that, and they say, oh, well, 2 miles down the road, old Farmer Brown's got those eggs. Or if you want to sell half a beef, or somebody's looking for a half a beef, you can go on there and do that. So that's kind of how we've, because you couldn't get eggs or meat or anything during that pandemic. So there was I got a quick story. Can I tell you one quick story? This is a cool story. So I also house the Office of Rural Health Care. I'm in charge of health care for 191 rural counties. So when the pandemic hit, I had to take all my ag inspectors, those that were doing pesticides and eggs and all that stuff, and we worked with the emergency management, and we took our trucks and we were delivering PPE equipment to these 191 rural counties. And, masks and gowns and hand sanitizer and all. Matter of fact, 60 Minutes did a special on us, so you may have seen it. It's been a long time, a year and a half now. So one of my inspectors was over at this huge warehouse. I think he was inspecting eggs, and he calls me. He said, hey, boss, I'm over here at this H-E-B warehouse. It's huge, and it's full of toilet paper. I said, why haven't they shipped it out? He said, let me find out. So he calls me back. He said, well, they can't sell it in Texas. I said, why not? He said, well, there's a law in Texas that if a product is sold in Texas, the instructions have to be in English. I said, you got to be kidding me. I think everybody knows how to use toilet paper. So I worked around and got a waiver so we could sell Spanish labeled toilet paper in Texas. And that's when the toilet paper thing ended. You remember when you could buy that? You remember the Spanish toilet paper on the shelves? All right, I got that done. I'm the toilet paper guy. Maybe one or two more. I think everybody's getting restless. Any other comments? Yes.
How do you feel about the restrictions within?
Can you say it a little louder? I'm hard of hearing.
How do you feel about the restrictions about the child nutrition program?
The child nutrition program, I didn't even tell you about that. That's my biggest program. So, actually, I'm responsible for 5 million school meals each day. It's our biggest program. We run the nutritional programs for the state and the federal government. School lunch program, school breakfast program. We work with Meals on Wheels, area food banks, adult feeding programs, summer feeding programs. And it was a real challenge because I had to go from one day feeding those 5 million school meals in the cafeteria to figure out how to feed those kids at home. It was a real challenge, but we got it done. Real proud of my people. They stepped up and we got it done. So the problem was when I took over, I followed Michelle Obama in her nutritional program. Well, instead of having healthy kids, we had healthy trash cans because they wouldn't eat that crap. I mean, it was all getting dumped out. And that's your taxpayer dollars paying for that because most of them get free lunch. So, I'm thinking about, I said, we got to fix this. And then to top it off, what really got me, set on fire about it, there was this school district, Dripping Springs. It's kind of south of Austin, southwest of Austin. They hired this Yankee superintendent. And he decided that it would be a good idea to have meatless Mondays. Really? In Texas? You gotta be kidding me. That's crazy. That's not even nutritionally sound. Some of the only protein some of those kids get is in the lunchroom. So that really got me to thinking, we got to turn this around. So, I don't like mandates, I never did as an ag teacher. I couldn't stand somebody on the 11th floor of the office building downtown Austin, in Bermuda shorts and penny loafers with no socks telling me how to run my ag department. Don't get me started. So I decided, all right, here's what we're going to do. No mandates. Matter of fact, one of the first things I did when I got there, I tore up all the mandates that the Department of Agriculture put on their schools. I said, we don't do any. I'm a local control guy. We're not going to do any of that. Matter of fact, my first press conference, I had been in office 2 weeks. I held a press conference. The word got out, there was 300 people there. And I announced to all of Texas that I was granting amnesty to cupcakes. And we would no longer tell those schools what they could feed, what mothers could bring to school. We're going to let that be a local decision. We're going to let the school nutritionists, the school board, and how about parents have a say in what their kids eat. We're out of that business. That's a local thing. So that's where we did that. So our schools weren't feeding any local products, zero. They were buying none, zero. I said, we got to fix that. That's why they won't eat that crap. It's flash frozen and all that yucky stuff. I said, so here's what we're going to do on a voluntary basis. We're going to challenge school to have Farm Fresh Fridays. At least serve one item locally grown. And that item, I want you to bring the farmer in, and we're going to have Meet the Farmer Fridays. And that farmer's going to tell them where their milk came from, or where that vegetable came from, or where that meat came from. Because kids have no idea where their food comes from anymore. They think it comes from the grocery store and the heat comes from the furnace. They have no clue. So we worked on that. We now have way over half our schools participating in that program. And last year, our schools bought $65 million worth of locally grown product. Never flash frozen, no added salt, no preservatives, no dyes, and it's a twofer. It tastes good, so the kids eat it, and guess what? The farmers, have another market. So it's been a huge success story for us. So thanks for asking that question, because I'd forgotten all about my nutrition program, our biggest program. I almost went right over it. One more question, and I'll let you get out of here. Yes, sir.
How many Republican challengers?
I have 2 Republican challengers and 2 Democrats so far. Yeah. And, here's the deal. I've got to raise money. It's expensive to run statewide. I think I've got enough money. The problem is, it's in your pocket. So I need some help. You can go to middlefortexas.com and donate online if you'd like to, but you know, everything helps. If you could just buy me a tank of diesel, that would help, because I burn a lot of it going across the state. So anyway, appreciate y'all coming out tonight. I'll leave you with a thought. You know, all of us have a pastor, a priest, or maybe a rabbi that we confide in with our daily walk with God and our families when we need it. Most of us have a family physician, a doctor that we can, that we trust, and that's important. Hey, I've got contact numbers of a couple of good lawyers in my contact list. Not going to make any lawyer jokes, but if you need one, you want a good one, you need them now, so that's important. But here's what I want you to think about. Maybe you hadn't thought about this lately, but every day for the rest of your life, 3 times a day, you're going to need a farmer. God bless you. Thank you for coming out tonight. Appreciate you.